Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is 401 Styling. Today I'm going to share with us the process of cutting and sewing this stylish high-low top. Okay, so for this top you'll be needing a fabric of your choice, a stable fabric of your choice, and it's going to be about 2 yards. This depends on the size you're working with. Okay, but for this particular one, my size, I'm going to be using 2 yards of fabric, so you can make use of any fabric of your choice. Here I have Duchess, and I'm going to be using this pencil and my chalk simultaneously because I don't want to leave a stain on my fabric, and at the same time I want you guys to see clearly. Okay, so now the first thing we are going to do is to start with the back bodies, and as for the back bodies, you will decide on the length you want for the back because the back is going to be longer than the front. So for this one, I'll be making use of 22 to 23 inches. You can make yours 24. This depends on the size you're working with. But for this one, I'm going to be marking 23 altogether plus my seam allowance. All right. So if you have enough fabric, you can mark more than that. All right. So I'm going to mark 23 inches forward this way, and I'm going to be connecting with my straight line. Please bear with me. I'm making use of a pencil because I'm trying to make sure that I do not leave a stain on my fabric. Okay, remember it's a white fabric, but if you are making use of a colored fabric, you can make use of your chalk or your marker pen, your fabric pen rather. So this is my line. Okay, this is my top length for the back. After which you have decided or determined the length, the next thing you want to do is to draft your basic bodies, just like the way we used to for our normal top. The first thing I'm going to do after this now, I'm just trying to make the line visible. The next thing I'm going to do is to work on the shoulder, and as for the shoulder, you're going to divide your shoulder measurement by 2. Whatever you have, you're going to measure it. So you can simply go ahead and divide your measurements, use your calculator, or you divide your tape into 2 equal half. So you mark it here, and from there you're going to take the shoulder slope. Remember, the human body is not as straight. Our shoulder has a slopey effect, so we are going to have our shoulder slope. Then after the shoulder slope, we are going to take the neck width and the neck depth. All right, so for this one, I'm just going to be making use of my 3 inches by 1 inch. Okay, you can make yours as wide as 3.5, but I feel 3 inches is okay because you don't want it to be too wide. At the same time, you don't want it to be too tight. All right, and for the neck depth, I'm going to be marking 1 inch. Okay, between 1 to 1.5 inch. All right, so I'll go ahead and mark, then I'm going to connect with my curve rule to give me a round neckline. So after that, you're going to determine the depth of which you want to have your slit. We are going to be having a slit at the back, so from this 1 inch, you're going to decide on the depth of your slit. So here I just marked 3 inches. Yours can be deeper, yours can be, exactly 3 inches or maybe 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to use my chalk to mark this so you can see. We're going to be having a slit at the back because it's not going to be having a zipper. It is a free top. Okay, so we just have to create an avenue for yourself to be able to put on the top. I hope you understand my English. So after marking this neckline this way, I'm going to connect to the shoulder slope that I marked earlier. Remember, I marked 1 inch here, so you are going to connect just like you see me doing. All right, so after this now, you can now go ahead and mark your armhole measurement. There is no difference, it's just the way we used to mark our regular shoulder, our regular armhole rather. So you're going to use your shoulder measurement divided by 2, or you calculate it by using your bow circumference divided by 6, all right, plus 1.5. Whatever value you get, you mark it after the shoulder slope. All right, so by calculating this, it's almost the same measurement. So after marking like so, you're going to connect from the shoulder line, the shoulder slope, back to that particular line you drew. Okay, so you're going to connect with a straight line like so, and before that you can simply measure whatever you have on the shoulder on that particular line, just like you see me doing, so that you'll be sure you want to walk or you're walking on a straight line. Then after which you have connected with a straight line, the next thing we're going to do is to create our armhole curve. All right, remember our armhole curve, we're going to divide your bust circumference by 4. Okay, so whatever you have, you can simply use your calculator, or you just fold your tape just like you see me doing. This is quite easy and simple. All right, so whatever value you get, you're going to mark it on that line that you mark earlier. All right, just like you see me placing it. This is to guide us where exactly we are going to land our curve. All right, so you're going to add 1 inch for ease. Remember, it's a free top. Okay, so I'm going to be adding 1 inch for ease after my bust circumference divided by 4. You can go as much as 1.5, but 1 inch is enough. All right, then after the 1 inch, you are going to add your seam or joining allowance of another 1 inch. All right, so after this, now the next thing you want to do is to go down to your waistline area. After which I have marked my waist area, I'm going to impute whatever value I have on the bust area on the waist area as well. All right, then I'm going to connect just like you see me doing. I just hope you get what I'm trying to do. So the next thing you want to do is to create the curve. Remember, the top is not as straight at the back, so from here you can just go up by 3 to 4 inches, then you connect with a curve to the top length. All right, so after that, we are going to come back to this, our armhole curve. So you divide whatever you have there into 2 equal half, or you just go up by 3 to 3.5 from the bust area. Then you connect with a curve like so, because the back armhole is not as deep as that of the front. All right, so I'm just going to make my chalk, mark it so that it will be visible enough for us to see. So this is what I'm just trying to do, is a free top, so the back is going to be free, and with this you are just done with the back. All right, so this curve depends on you. After which you have cut out your pattern, you can simply trim or just retrace out the curve. So I'm just going to cut out the pattern. I already have my seam allowance, so I'm going to leave the seam allowance when I'm cutting. Remember, this is a fabric, it is not a pattern paper, so I just did everything directly. If you are seeing my channel for the first time, thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate you. And to the returning subscriber, to the returning viewers, thank you very much. I really appreciate your belief in me. And please, if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, kindly do so now. Click on the subscribe button, click on the bell beside it in case I drop a new video, so that you'll be the first person to know. Drop your comments about this video, your thoughts about this tutorial. If you have any tutorial of your choice, kindly drop so we can work on it together. All right, thank you very much. So now I'm done cutting the back, and as for the slits at the neckline, I'm going to be doing that when I want to sew it. All right, so I'm going to be doing that after facing. So for the front pattern now, is definitely going to be shorter than that of the front. All right, so and for the length of the front, we are going to subtract the height of our band. It's going to have a band just like it is here. It's going to have our band, and we're going to subtract the band from the full length. So for the front, I'm going to be working with 17 inches, and the band is going to be 3 inches. Okay, so 17 inches is plus my seam allowance, so definitely I'll have 14 at the top, and then I'll have 3 inches. So I added my seam allowance. Altogether I have 18 inches. So decide on the length you want to use, add your seam allowance, and subtract the height of the band. So after this, now you're going to take your shoulder measurements just like we did for the front. You're going to take your shoulder slope 1 inch as well. Then for the neck width and the neck depth, this depends on your choice, but for this one I'm just going to maintain the same neck width, but the neck depth for the front is going to be different. I'm going to make it of 3.5, unlike that of the back that we use 1 inch. All right, so now after connecting with a curve ruler, I'm going to make my line visible using this chalk. I'm just trying to be careful, this fabric is kind of funny. All right, so I'm going to connect the shoulder slope as well, just like you see me doing. Then I'm going to create my armhole. I believe we know how to create an armhole by now. So you measure from your shoulder slope, your shoulder measurement divided by 2, or your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. Then you're going to connect with a straight line like you see me doing. You find the midpoint of the line, then you go in by 0.5 on the chest line. That line that we drew is going to be your chest line. So you take your bust circumference divided by 4 plus his and plus seam allowance, just like we did. So that will be inches altogether. And from there, you are just going to connect straight down. You mark the same measurement on the top length, then you are going to connect just like you see me doing. Remember, it's going to be a free top, then I'm going to connect the armhole. So this area we are going to be having a pleat. So the measurement I have for the front altogether is quite wider than that of the front. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. So you are going to be needing up to like 22 inches altogether for that of the front alone. So by the time you gather it back to your exact waist circumference. You can have more than that. This depends on how much more fabric you have, as you can see. So I'm going to run a gather stitch on this waistline area to gather the excess back to my original waist circumference. Okay, so here I think I have 24 inches plus my joining allowance, because we are going to be folding the side. All right, so what you're going to do, I'm going to run a gather stitch on that. Okay, then this is for the band. So for the band, you are going to have up to like 50 to 60 inches long. Then it's going to be 4 inches. If you are making use of 3 inches for your band height, that means you're going to be adding seam allowance. That makes it 4 inches. Okay, so now the next thing you're going to do is to work on the neckline. And as for the neckline for the back, I'm going to use a facing. I'm going to be cutting a fabric to make a facing, just like I have here. Remember, we have a slit, so it is after I turn the neckline, I'm going to cut out the slit. So this will make it easier for me. If you are working with a very light fabric, you might want to add your interface to the neckline area so that it will be easier. Your fabric will be stable. You'll be able to add your facing. And as for the front, I'm going to be using this white bias, our ribbon, to turn the neckline as well. So guys, I'm done with the back, and as you can see, it's come out so neat. Okay, it is very easier when you make use of a fabric to do the facing of this type of neckline. All right, then after that I top stitch, and then I use my hemming stitch. I use my hemming gum rather to hold down the facing. And as for the front, this is what I have. I already turned it with my bias tip. I'm just going to make use of my hemming stitch or maybe the hemming gum afterwards. So the next thing you want to do is to join the shoulder together. So before joining the shoulder, I'm going to run my gathers on the waistline. I'm going to work on the neckline. I'm going to use my hemming gum to hold down the neckline, because it will not be easier to do this after which I have joined the shoulder. Okay, so guys, I already run my stitch on the waistline area. What I'm trying to do now is just to use my thread to gather it back to my original waist circumference. But remember, we still have seam allowance by the side, so you need to consider that. So after which I've gathered your waistline area now, then you can now come in with your tape rule and go ahead and confirm your measurements once again. Confirm if you have your exact measurements plus your seam allowance. Now I've gone ahead to join the side together, the shoulder, and by the side I leave 2 inches after joining the shoulder, because we are going to be creating a space for our band. All right, so you want your back to be longer, then you have to add to the length of the top. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to find the midpoint of my waistband. All right, by notching or marking with your pen, pencil, or whatever you can use to indicate the center. We're going to indicate the center on the front as well. Then we are going to start by fixing the band from the wrong side, placing the center together. So the right side of the band will be facing the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, the way we are going to be turning this depends on you, but for you to have a very neat finishing, we are going to be having an inseam turning or an inseam finishing for this waistband. Now I already joined the first area together, just like I've said. You join the wrong side of the fabric and the right side of the band together. So you can either place the band on it like this, or better still, you do it this way. So you are going to put the fabrics in between the two bands. Okay, remember we are going to double the band, so you have to take your time when you are doing this. You're going to place the center. Remember I said we need to indicate the center on both the band and the fabric. So this way your other part of the top is going to be in between. You are going to run your stitch all through. So after doing so, this is what you're going to have. Then you're going to pull out the top like this through the waistband. With this, you'll be able to secure the hem, all right, the hem of the band and that of the top together. As you can see, no seam will be showing. It will just be totally neat like that. So this depends on you. You can decide on your choice, the way you want to turn your waistband. So after this, now the next thing you want to do is to fix the sleeve of your choice. All right, so remember we have 2 inches. I said we should open up the side, we should stop 2 inches before the end of the top, so this will enable us fix the band easily. Then we are going to give it a proper press. And as for the sleeve, you can make it sleeve of your choice. You can make it long, you can make it short, you can make it 3/4. But for this one, I'm going to be making a 3/4 sleeve. It's just going to be below my elbow a little bit. All right, so you cut a sleeve of your choice. So this is what I want to use for my sleeve. It's just a basic sleeve, but it's going to be a 3/4. So I divided the sleeve into 2 parts, the upper part and the band, all right, plus my seam allowance. So this band here, you can make just 2, 3, 4, but this one is going to be on fold, so definitely I'm going to be folding this. So, and for the hem, you measure wherever you want yours to be. You had excess, so you can have a pleat if you want to have a pleat. This one is just going to be having a very little pleat, so it's not going to be that much. And for the band as well, you are going to go ahead and measure wherever you want it to stop. For this one, I don't want mine to be too tight, and at the same time I don't want it to be too free, but I want it to be able to, you know, be free for me to wear, because I'm not going to be having a button or any slits. If you want to make a shirt sleeve that's going to have a cuff and the button, I have a video. I'm going to be dropping the link in the description box for us to see. So now I already run my stitch, my running stitch on this, and I'm going to use it to gather this excess, although it is not that much. But in case you have enough fabric to gather your sleeve, this is what you should look like. Then after gathering it, you're going to confirm your measurement. Make sure you don't have a shortage around that part, just adjust it. Okay, but for this one, I don't really have much excess. All right, so after this, now I'm going to go ahead and join the side like this with my 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to be fixing this band on the waist. So but before that, I'm going to be joining the band as well, because I want a total finishing, just like the way we finish up our waistband. I'm going to be doing the same thing on the band on the sleeve. So I'm going to join this side and turn it around, and then I'm going to use it to turn the sleeve area. Okay guys, this is what I have, okay, after joining, and I'm going to fold it this way, as you can see. So it is just only one side that we are going to be having open, and this band here is wide enough to accommodate my sleeve band. All right, it is very free and I really like it. So go ahead and do your sleeve the way you prefer. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and turn this hemline. All right, so I'm going to use this band to turn it around. So you are also going to have a first sewing like this, like the way we did for the band. You turn the sleeve inside out to the right side, then you're going to fold it back like this, okay, just like I did before we join into the sleeve. So you're going to use your 0.5 inch to fold it again like this, and you're going to run a stitch all round. This is just like a regular way we used to fix our band for the skirt, for the trousers, and that's just it. So guys, I'm done with that. So guys, I'm done, and this is what I have. So I already did the same thing on the second sleeve as well. I'm going to give this a proper press. There is no light for now, so pardon me. So the next thing and the final thing to do now is to fix the sleeve to the armhole of the top. Then after fixing, you secure the hem of the top, the neckline if possible, the armhole area with your weaving or overlocking machine, and that's all with this top. It's ready for you to rock with your trousers, with your skirts, and so on like that. So guys, I'm going to do all this, and I'm going to come back to show us how it's going to look like. So I'm definitely going to be trying it on. And at the back, I'm going to be fixing a hook at the back. You can fix a button or whatever fastener you want to make use of. Okay guys, I'll be right back. So guys, this is what the final look should look like. So the length for the front and the back depends on your choice, and if you are going to wear this top, you are going to rock it with a high waist jean or high waist skirt, okay, or trouser, or any trouser or skirt that goes above your navel. All right, so as for the back, is going to be like this, and the front is going to be like this. For the sleeve, this depends on your choice, just like I've said. And that'll be all for this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, for always coming back. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share, so that we can reach as many people as possible. Till next time that we meet in my next tutorial. Bye.